Short track must be on. I don't think I'll be dipping into that on my big heavy enduro bike. Godspeed to all of you. We're on a different route. Make our way up here. I'll tell you what the heck I'm doing. Right, go over here and limber up, I reckon. Do a bit of an intro. So heading out for an enduro training ride today. Haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I'd just bring you guys along, talk a bit about my rig, about my training, and about what I do on an enduro race day. Might be interesting, might be boring, but we'll see how we go. So the mission today is 1,000 meters vert, and I don't have that much time, so I've come to my local down here in the Shire, which is pretty short descent, so it's going to be a lot of up and down. But I did a loop with Dan last week on our e-bikes and got over 1,000 vert, so I'll follow something pretty similar today, I reckon. So when I say I've got to do a training ride, I'm following a training program with Superdust Academy, which is an online program. So today's workout, Enduro MTB ride, 25Ks, and it's pretty cool. Sets you up with a nice little warm-up just to get limber. I've discovered as I've gotten older, this bit becomes more and more important to feeling loose on the bike and kind of preventing any niggles. So packs are cool again, and I'm on the pack bandwagon. I'll show you what's in it a little bit later, but I used one at Bora, and even though it wasn't a massive day, it just makes life so much better. What else I gotta do? Inchworms and push-ups, I do them together. We're warm. Also had about a 5k ride over here. The description is, ideally you want to treat this much like that of an enduro race. Pedal the liaisons, hit the descents, put your skills to work. So, I've got my full setup. I've got full face helmet, which I'll take you through. I'm on the enduro bike. I've got the pack, and I'm going to wear some goggles. We'll get going. Hit the first descent up pretty soon. Alright, first descent. Oh, something's gone in the bike, and out. Pretty narrow. Oh, sick. Real doesn't get really that much love, that trail. Really shit climb out now. Cool, let's go through the pack. So it's just one of these little Evoc ones I found online on sale, which I can't manage to get off. Okay, I'll just finish the descent. I'm going to take my gloves off. Gloves off for the climb, goggles off for the climb. They're the goggles. They're by Liat. This is kind of an older model, but you can see they're like cut out, so you don't have obviously like you can get more dust in, so not great if you're following people, but pretty good, like sort of halfway between a glasses and a goggle. But yeah, lens is a little bit dark for today, so probably just put those away for now. And then the other thing I do when I get to the bottom of the descent is pull out the cheek pads. This is a Fox Pro frame, and that just makes it kind of more like a half lid, and it's really good if you're doing like a really long climb. In here I've just got my cheek pads, my gloves, probably just tuck the goggles in there, I think. Do that in a minute. Got the water bottle, which as I mentioned, about a litre in it today. Then in the pockets I've got just a tool, So a little one-up tool. The reason that I have that is because before a descent, if you've got some climbing on a race stage, I drop the seat post down about 1 centimetre. And all that means is like when you're in race mode, you can pop it up and it's not like right up your bum. And then in this side, just some gels. I've got the full one-up tool in the glove box, so that's got tyre levers, plugs. I've got the CO2 in there, probably some other stuff as well, and then some more fuel. And as I mentioned, I've got this full of carbs, so that's a carbon electrolyte mix, and there's about 100 grams in total in there, which is 2 hours for me. I have that and half of that and a gel each hour. I'm gonna pack up, head up this climb, it's pretty nasty, and then head over and do another descent. I'll probably do 2 more on this side, and then I'll give you a look at my bike and I'll talk through some of the stuff on the bike, particularly for racing. Let's go. Right, second trail. Let's kit up. I think I will do the goggles again, even though they're not ideal. It's just good to get used to riding with not quite the same field of view. Yeah, they're kind of I guess they're like a low light lens, these ones. Everything's kind of red, but so that's a good example then. I just smacked my pedal on something that I couldn't see because it was out of view, so just got to get used to it. Sick. Oh, can't stop flying. Alright, I'm gonna ditch these goggles. They just don't play nicely with this helmet. Keeps sliding down and getting right off my nose. So it's a good reason to test your stuff, because if I turned up to a race day with those and realised then they don't play nice with the helmet, then I wouldn't be wearing goggles for the race. Always good to get that. Hardest trail in Wanty, I reckon. Righto. This trail's had a bit of work on it recently. It's running pretty sick. Oh, that wasn't mine intended. Just having a good run then. Three trails in, 15 Ks. Just hoping to do like 5 over here. I need to pick up the pace, so I'm going to manage that today. Fourth trail, 16 Ks in. Feeling good. This one definitely has the worst climb out though, so see how we're feeling after this. And I will give a look at the bike, a bit of a walkthrough at the bottom of this track. This used to be one of the real popular ones out here, but here I'm sort of focused on the trails on the other side now, and it's a little bit worse for wear, but still bloody sick to ride, so I think I'll get out here with a rake soon. Got another project to finish up first though. Oh. The berm's gone. Oh! Knock my foot off the pedal then. I might as well keep it off for this. The corner's horrible. This used to be the Enduro track out here. You see why. A few punchy climbs, real techie corners. Oh, still a lot of fun. Let's take a quick look at the rig. So this is my Mega Tower, shouldn't be a surprise, had this for a couple of years now. Really sick, not planning to change it anytime soon. And it's proven to be a really good race bike just because it pedals super well, and then it's got the angles and all the travel for all the descents. And I've found that I'm way quicker on this than on my last bike, which was a Rocky Mountain. And I think that just comes down to the fit. And also just this suspension is like way more dialed and heaps more planted for me at my weight. I think the Rocky is better for sort of lighter weight riders, or I just never had the right shock tune. But yeah, definitely just hopped on this, felt at home right away, better fit, nicer suspension, and it pedals a bit better too. So not much changes to the setup either recently. So still running the Zeb fork. I think I've got a token in that. It's 170. I run 81 PSI, compression's kind of in the middle, rebound kind of at recommended, maybe a little on the faster side. Got the Vivid shock on it. So again, haven't changed much about that. It's running one token, which is one less than what it comes with. I've gone up a little bit in pressure, so 225 PSI. I changed that in NZ and just kind of never put it back. And it feels a bit, like it wallows a bit much if I run it any softer. So yeah, I'm still getting full travel. I never feel it bottom out because it's got the hydraulic bottom out. It would be nice to not see the ring up there all the time, and maybe to have it a little bit more supportive. So probably play around with that a little bit more. I run 170mm cranks. You can see on this crank here, which is that my forward one? No, that's my back one. It's covered in chain marks, and then heaps and heaps of rock strikes. I like my bottom bracket super low, so running that with a, you know, what's considered to be a pretty long crank these days. It strikes the ground a lot and I've got to be careful, but I've got really long legs and I don't like the feeling of the shorter crank, and I also don't like the feeling of the high bottom bracket. So it kind of is what it is, and every now and then it hits and I get a shock, but that's what we got for now. The drivetrain is cable. I think that's the best for me for racing. It means I don't have any batteries to remember to charge or anything. I really like the transmission that is on my e-bike, but not enough to change this. This is just like super reliable, always shifts well. It's pretty unbelievable how well it wears as well. And I run a 32 ring up the front. That's not ideal for some of the really tough climbs, but I'm just used to it. The bike, I mentioned the low bottom bracket. The bike is in the low position. I've settled on that now. Sort of went back and forth, high to low when I got it, and I was playing around with different coils. But yeah, low with the air shock seems to be the ticket. For racing, I think the most important thing is reliability. So everything on here is super reliable, and that goes with the tires as well. So I'm running Maxxis Assegai. It's a full 29er bike, so 29er front, 29er rear. Assegai up front, double down casing. DHR2 rear, downhill casing, both in max grip. Some people ask me about the max grip on the rear. It does wear out kind of quick, but I just really like having all the grip, especially on this bike where I'll be riding the most gnarly trails. And then downhill casing on the rear. I've never flatted a downhill casing. I've flatted a number of double down casings, never a downhill. And that means I don't have to run inserts. So this is the lightest possible setup that I can get away with. And then Assegai, double down, slightly lighter. And then the double down casing means you get a bit less hand pump, which is really good for longer stages, or I actually put this one on, no, that's not true. I had a new one for New Zealand and it was super good over there for those sort of long descents too. I've been using the Michelin tires on my other bikes and they're really good, but so far I haven't wanted to go away from this setup because I just know that it works everywhere. It's got really good grip. It'll work if it's wet, if it's dry, if it's hot, or if it's cold. I haven't got that much time on the Michelins to be able to kind of get that feel for them. So yeah, it's pretty much everything on the bike. Maven brakes, all the stopping power, 35mm rise bar, 40mm stem, 210mm dropper, 200mm rotors. I don't know if there's that much else about it. It's all just exactly how I've had it for years and years, and I can't think of anything that I would want to change anytime soon. So that's the Enduro rig. Super reliable, super fast for racing, and I feel really confident when I ride it. All right, let's hit this climb up. Getting a little bit dark now. So I think I'll do 3 more tracks over this side. That's probably all I'll have time for. I think that means I'll probably miss the 1000 vert. We'll see by the time I pedal out as well. Good training ride anyway. It's actually a mad little enduro segment you can do that starts kind of way up here. So I'll give that one a roll. Just give these short tracks a little bit of extra length. Whoa! Whale tail rock! Gotta do the whale tail if you want the time, which I don't really care about the time. G'day! How's it going? Pretty keen walking up here. Bloody steep. Not very enduro, but we'll do the drop. And look at the foam on that. This stuff's actually pretty nice. It's just from a sports nutrition shop, not a bike specific anything. But you're only supposed to have half as much in the bottle as what I put in, so it's incredibly sweet. Which means you don't really want it to be your water supply as well as your fuel. Same again but different. Start up here and then turn into Cuddle Monster. Oh, nearly blew off the side. Whale tail. Oh, thank you, corner knobs. That's running good. That's physical when you do it from the corner. Last trail starts up there, look out. Oh, some new rocks. They'll last all of about 5 minutes. Pretty spent, hey. I don't know what I would guess the vertical to be, maybe 750 by now. Which probably means it'd be 850 at the top of the next climb, 900 by the time I get home, so not quite a K. But after the final climb, which is back up to the cemetery, I'll stop it, check where we're at. Really sick track to finish. One of the newer ones, but it's a modern classic out here. Heaps of work went into it, and I don't know anyone that doesn't like it. Let's go. That's a pretty quick one. So happy with that. Punch out this last climb. We'll stop Strava at the top. See where we ended up. Done. Holy. Climb was a lot harder compared with 2 hours ago. Alright, so I was pretty close with my guess. 28.14 Ks. I still got 5 Ks to ride home. 887 vertical meters. Now I'm not going to get 113 vertical meters on the way home, so, well, I mean, I could if I did another climb, but I'm not doing that. I'm going home. It's getting dark. But pretty good all in all. I think one more trail out here, which was the original plan, and would have got the 1,000. But next time, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. If you stuck around this long, you are the true fans. Give this video a like. And I hope it gave you a bit of an insight into sort of how I approach racing. I'm not an elite racer, racing the 40 plus, but been doing it for a while now, and I've definitely worked out a few of the tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I started out. So thanks again, see you later.